That was all right. Today I have DJ Bland with us. He coached here at Rose-Hulman in 2017. We actually had a preseason All-American, Alec Thompson, that year, and that was a senior, and he did a great job kind of coaching him. So I'm going to turn this over to Coach Bland.
All right, Nick, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to come on and talk some ball with you. Just a little bit about me. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I played high school football at De La Salle Institute. Then after that, I played college ball at Eastern Illinois. Then decided I wanted to go into coaching. I went to Tampa, coached high school football at Palm Harbor University High School. Then decided I wanted to get into college coaching. Got an opportunity up in Green Bay at St. Norbert College. Then after that, kind of wanted to move, trying to get closer to home because I was away from my family. I got an opportunity with Nick and Coach Soko at Rose-Hulman. Then just, networking and, Coach, Nick knew Coach Drury, now the head coach at S&T. Coach Drury said he had an opening. Nick told me to apply for the job, and now I'm at S&T going on my third year. And so before I get started, what I'm going to talk to you guys about is, our three safety package. At this year, we want to put the best 11 players on the field. So we created a three high safety package. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. If you have any questions, I'll leave my email at the end for you guys to reach out to me at my phone number. But let's get started. All right. Can you see what I'm showing you, Nick?
Yep, I got you, man.
All right, so Missouri S&T's three high safety package by DJ Bland, which is me. Also the pass game coordinator and defensive back coach. Okay, our Iowa package. Like I said, it was created to put our best 11 players on the field. All right, and we also, because at the beginning of each season, as the defensive staff, and we do this with our whole staff as well, as our defensive staff, we go and rank our best 11 players. So who we think our best 11, we rank them. And then last year we had three safeties that fell in that best 11. So we wanted to find a way to get them on the field all at once. So that's why the Iowa package was created. One big thing that we believe in at S&T is, we don't just say, hey, did this player fit our, style of play? Is he a 3-4 guy? No, we say, hey, the players, we want to see what players we got. Then that's going to dictate what we run on defense, and then we're going to call different plays for them. So players equals the playbook, and then what we'll call the plays for them. So we base in the 3-4, but we try to adjust based on the players that we have. Also, the Iowa package was created to get more speed on the field. All right, a lot of teams run air raids. We practice against the air raid every single day. And then also a lot of guys want to do this up-tempo and run RPO. So get more speed on the field to defend the air raid and RPOs. We love it versus 10 and 11 personnel. And then we are able to adjust to every formation and motions. So we keep the same look, and I'll go over our alignments in a little bit. And then also we like to do multiple things out of the one look. All right, so a little adjustments with the backers and then the DBs as well, but it looks the same on tape. So we want to, and also we want to keep everything simple. So a lot of stuff that we do in this package translates over from our, it's the same lingo, same drops or everything as our base Missouri package. All right, so our alignments. So in the back end, as you see, we have all 5 DBs lined up at 8 yards. All right, they're 8 yards from the ball. Okay, the corners, they're 1 yard inside of number ones. If we have 2 split receivers, the safeties are lined up 8 yards, 1 yard inside of them. And we have our nickel lined up over the back at 8 yards. All right, so for our outside backers, if it's 2 split receiver, if they got a split receiver to the side, they're apexing the in-man line of scrimmage and the number 2 receiver. Our Mike backer is stacked, over the center. And then for our D lineman, okay, our base front is a 44 front. So that means we have a 4-0-4. And then our nose is always shaded. Okay, sometimes if we get a pistol, he can be head up, but most of the time we shade the nose. All right, linemen versus 3-by-1. All right, and then also too, just with our, we kind of changed our formations, Nick, how we did it at Rose. So now, so I'll go back to this one. So 2-by-2 extended. So we got 2 guys, 2 extended receivers out. So 2-by-2 extended. Now we're going 3-by-1 extended. So we have 3 with speed. All right. So once again, corners 8 yards deep, 1 yard inside. Safeties. If you have number 2 to your side, you'll be 8 yards deep inside. Now since it's 3-by-1, we just bump instead of bumping the backers bumping the box. All right, we just bump the nickel over now, and he would take number 3. Okay, we'll play black to this side, and then with our free safety now, he's lined up in the we call it a C8. All right, C8. So using our base form, if it's Missouri, if it's nothing there, we line up in the C10. But remember, we're 8 yards across, so we line up in the C8 because he doesn't have any like a tight end or another receiver line up off of, so we call it, we line up in that C gap. All right, now, anytime our outside backers get the tight end or just a tackle, they will line up in a tight technique. So they'll line up tight to the end man on the line of scrimmage. All right, but if he has 3 receivers, once again, we're going to apex, all right, the end man line of scrimmage and the 3rd receiver. All right, we like our chances. They want to throw the bubble. We're going to chase it down. These guys got to defeat blocks. All right, now, 2-by-2 yo. All right, yo means white off, okay? So, for instance, same alignments, or 8 yards across. Now, with the only thing that kind of changes is our free safety. Now he is lined up in a D10. We like to line him outside of that tight end because if it's run to him, he has a better angle at attacking that and then making that guy try to put his foot in the ground and try to bounce outside. All right, instead of cutting back up as he runs straight down. All right, and then once again, tight end, even if it's a Y off, he's in a tight technique, slightly outside of his outside shoulder. Okay, and then we have our nickel lineup over the back. And once again, 2 split guys. He got a split guy, so he's apexing with another outside backer. And then 3-by-1, same thing. He's lined up outside. We have he has a tight end to his side. So now we got that 2v2 over here. The stud is in a tight technique, and our nickel is bumped over because we're playing what we call black. Okay, we'll get into that later. Then once again, free safety. He has no number 2, so he's lined up in that C8 right here, and the corner is lined up, same alignment based off the tight end. Okay. All right, so little things that we do in our Iowa package. These are the fronts that we run. We run a 55 front, 44 front, 33, 22, and the wide front. Our 55 front, we have 2 5s, a shade, okay? And once again, like I said, our mic is responsible for the other A gap. So whatever he's reading off the nose. So we like to shade based off opposite the back because most of the runs will come this way. All right, so that's what we do. I think this year we kind of go more to a head up 0, don't give away where that bubble is going to be. All right, our 44 front, we got our ends are head up over the tackles, and then once again we are shaded with the nose. even though it's pistol, based on tendencies, we are shaded with the nose, and then our mic is over the center right here. 33 front. All right, we have our ends are both in threes, and then once again our nose is shaded, and then our mic is stacked in that A gap, about 3 to 4 yards deep. Now our 22 front. All right, now we bring that quick into the picture. Okay, our boundary backer into the picture. So we have our on one end in a 2. Our nose is now bumped into a 2, and then we have our rush. All right, to the to the field or away from the quick. All right, in the 5. All right. Then our wide front, now instead of in 2s, we bump those guys out to now 3s. All right, our mic is right over center. Once again, that quick is our boundary backer. The quick is down. All right, outside of this tackle in the 5, and our end is bumped outside of the tackle in the 5. Some stunts that we do an alert stunt, bounce stunt. We run some games, mic stunt, bull, all right, bone, and then a cash stunt. Okay, so for the alert stunt is we're alerting. So based on formation, we can now you see these guys press, but based on a formation determines who's blitzing. So if it's a 2x2 set, all right, the mic is now going to be a read blitzer off the nose. If it's 3x1, then that's going to bump the mic out, put him in the coverage, and then make this this boundary backer a read blitzer off the end to his side. Okay, so we have we have a alert call, so it's 2x2. Let's just go to the tight. All right, you'll see this will be a pass. We alert auto right here. Checking it. He trying to get us. He doesn't know what we in. All right. So if it was a regular run, all right. Let me go back. I hate when my thing does that. But if it was a regular run, he'll just have his normal deal. He has an A gap, but since it's pass, he's blitzing off that nose. Give him some time to go. So now, for instance, this guy steps up. Okay. Now he just forced him. He forced him. He forced him not to just step up. And now every time we have a pass play, all right, and every time if it's in our normal deal, okay, we always have 2 face players and 2 deep shoulder players. So in this picture right now, since it's a mic blitz, we have 2 face guys. So he'll be a face player, and then this deep shoulder, all right, deep shoulder. Every time we just make a circle around a quarterback, okay, almost like a pie chart. All right, so we got 2 guys in his face. All right, and then 2 guys deep shoulder every single time. All right, if it's our normal deal, we want to bring 4 guys. All right, we just want to make sure we have 2 face guys, 2 deep shoulders. All right, we don't coach it, say, hey, you have to be outside every single time. If this guy was to overset him, or he can go underneath, but he just got to get to that deep shoulder. Okay. But good job of our backer stepping up, making them rush out to our end, and they got a gain of 2. Okay, once again, we have our, alert stunt right here. Okay, you see, he's now rushing automatically now, forcing that guy to step up. All right, as you see, he crossed that center face. Now gets him off of that nose, and the nose, hey, you got an opportunity to hit the quarterback right there. Force an incomplete pass. He couldn't step up and throw that. All right, once again, alert stunt, go to the tight. All right, it's 2x2. He's off the nose right here. It's a pass. Now he's going. He goes to the first opening. Now, once again, right here, we gotta just have a better grip strength. But good job of getting quarterback contact and making him throw that incomplete pass. Okay, so once again, we got 2 deep shoulder players and then 2 face players. All right, just make sure he's in his face. But I wish we can get him down right there, but we make him, throw an incomplete pass, but good QB pressure. All right, so now we're going into our bounce stunt. So what we call it bounce because it's called beat to bounce. All right, so we in our the coverage right here is 44 bounce teal. All right, so if it's a run, those ends will be automatically B gaps. Okay, but if it's pass, they're going to read the tackle right in front of him. If it's a pass, they're going to now bounce outside and be contained rushers. Be deep shoulder players, I should say. Go to the tight really quick. You can watch these two ends. Boom, it's a run. They're right in that B gaps. All right. Right in the B gaps. Boom, in the B gap. All B gaps closed. We want to force everything to all our speed. Nothing's going to run up the middle on us. Good job. That's a good job. We're getting them down right there. All right, go to the tight again. We got a bounce. So it's a pass. So now you see, hey, they're reading, they see it's a pass, boom, they work outside the deep shoulder. All right, we got a drop 8 going on. Our nose do a really good job. Or we just tell this guy, hey, you got to be on the face of the quarterback. He does a really good job beating up that center, and we can get the sack. So a really good job, really good job. All right, once again, we have our bounce stunt. Go to the tight again. Call it beat and bounce. So if it's run, they go into the B gap. If it's pass, all right, so we got a run right here. He's about to work outside, but he realized run, boom. That end, all right, our call, goes right to that B gap and makes a play, okay? Boom. Backside, you see, once again, number 1, Turk, all right, who just signed with the Chiefs, all right, knows it was run, boom, in the B gap. We spilling everything out. All right, we got every gap covered, every gap accounted for. It's a good job, really good job right there. Okay, once again, I think I can put this clip on here twice. Oh no, this is another clip. So game against Texas Southern. All right, pass play. We work outside. We drop an 8. And once again, we got 2 deep shoulder players, 1 face player. All right, we got our our NFL guy. Working right here all the way to the side, bullying that guy, make sure he's deep shoulder, end up getting sacked. And that's why he'll be playing on Sundays. All right. Now, this is our game stunt, okay? So the game stunt is when we in our, our wide front or 22 front. It really doesn't matter. Okay, well, I'll go to the tight right here. So we're in our wide front. So we have 3 options every single time that we are in the games. They can call either a crap stunt, all right, or they can call a change or a dice. If they call it crap stunt, okay, the outside guy will be going first, and then the outside guy would knife in, and then the inside guy will now loop around tight right off his butt, okay? So just get an exchange right there. If they call it change stunt, I'm just saying I don't know what's being called right now. If they call it change stunt, all right, the inside guy, all right, will be going first, and then the outside guy will beat the drum and then come off his butt. All right, if they call it dice call, dice means both inside guys now have a 2-way go on the guards, and then both outside guys are now outside rushers. I'll kind of slow it down for you guys, show you what kind of stunt that we got going on. All right, so we look like we got dice. All right, we got a dice to the right side here, okay? And then we got a crap stunt to the left side. So we gave our best player a 2-way go. All right, then once again, great call right here. All right, but we just got to execute. We got to execute. This nose has to come off tighter, all right, to our, that penetrator right there. As you see, he kind of loops around. All right, but this is a 300-pound guy moving. Great call, but we just got to execute, and we just can't get cut back on. But great call. Hey, everything is not perfect, but, once again, that's what you work on it for. Okay, we got another games call right here. All right, so once again, we got a little crap stunt again, and we got a dice. Okay, we usually try not to tell them to do dice, but hey, we don't know what they're going to call on the field. All right, but we got to get better right here as now scraping. All right, we just ran right into each other. We gotta scrape. We gotta scrape tight. We gotta scrape tight, but at least get some penetration and not have 2 guys go 2 for 2. We gotta have that outside guy, whoever's going first, take 2 to free up 1 guy. All right, but we end up getting out of this play. Good play by DB getting that ball out. Okay, once again, another game stunt. All right, this is another one. We got a good call, but we got to execute. Okay, I'm not gonna put all just good plays on here, but it's a really good job of, you know, we're locking everybody up. We have opportunities to get a sack. All right, but we got a shifty quarterback back there. But I'm just showing you guys the game stunt. So we got a dice. We had a dice to this side. Okay, and once again, we got a crap to this side. All right. So we do a good job. We just got to stay on our feet. You know, we got 2 face players. We got to stay on the face. He got to get to the face. He has to get to the face. All right, we got to stay deep shoulder. We always preach ball, hand, spin. All right, ball, hand, spin. We always preach that. So if we get beat by ball, hand, spin, that is on us. That is on us. We practice that every week in our takeaway circuit, ball, hand, spin. All right, so we got to stay on that deep shoulder. He didn't stay on that deep shoulder, and then boom, we getting cut back on again. But that's the game, son. You know, so hopefully you don't have to play shifty quarterback. But if you do, you once again just preach that deep shoulder, preach those face player technique. All right. Now we into our mic stunt. Our mic stunt goes more with the, you know, it's now telling this end, and we're playing zero coverage in the back end. It's telling this, I say end. It's telling this nose to cross the face of the center, and then the mic will fit right off his butt in the opposite A gap. All right, so instead of him just penetrating here, him just penetrating there, we try to knock these guys off, take 2, and then free the mic up for, you know, the backside, all right? And then these guys still have the B gaps. All right, as you see, boom, he knock off the fallback. We have every gap filled right here. So we got our mic stunt right here, boom. All right, that nickel, I said that nickel, that nose. Cross that center face. Frees up, you know, almost frees up that mic, but he knocks back and he falls back into the opposite A gap. All right, and then makes the play. Boom, right there. That's a really good job for us. That's a really good running back at Indy as well. All right, we do it again. We got, you know, same thing in the red zone. Next play, got the mic stunt. Boom, free. Once again, that was a pass though, but you see the same principle. You know, ends up being free. We playing zero. Good job by DB playing hands though right there. Okay. Now we have a bone stunt right here. So our bone stunt is the call and the nose will now J step, okay, to the A gaps, and then the rush on the opposite side will then loop around tight and then fit in the first opening. Right, he'll fit in the first opening. Okay. And then most of the times if we run a zero behind it, or these guys are jumping anything quick, we just don't want these guys to step up and run as quarterbacks. All right, but if we have our 3 hot going on, we have these 2 edge players rushing off the edge as well with the bone stunt. Okay, so right here you see we guys J stepping into the A gaps. All right, and then we like this because we get our best player, you know, our best D lineman going against the running back. That's a one-on-one we would take every single time. All right, it almost got home. Okay, you can see that he's panicking, ready to throw that ball. But we beat that center. We, you know, got a hit on the quarterback. But we gotta make sure, you know, we play better coverage in the back end though. So I'll let it run. Boom, our bone stunt. All right, so that's out of our 33 front. Okay, and now this is cash. All right, so cash. It is, you know, it's a formational pressure, right? So if it's 2 by 2, we are sending our stud, our outside backer. All right, we are sending a stud, and then we have a shake stunt. So our shake stunt is, all right, we're gonna have the nose, all right, J step to the opposite A, and then now the end to the side of the blitz, side of the stunt is gonna beat the drum and then wrap around tight off his butt. All right. And then I know a lot of times we say we in Iowa, we you know, we align 8 yards across, but sometimes we have the option to press the corners and then bail out there too. Okay, so I'll just go to the tight so you can see the shake stunt. All right, so it's 2 by 2. Once again, we're sending the stud. Now, if it was 3 by 1, I'll go back to the wide. If it was 3 by 1, we will send the corner, the boundary corner. Okay. So that's the way the corners can feel like they, you know, get a chance to get in there and get some hits on the quarterback. So since it's 2 by 2, we're sending a stud. If it's 3 by 1, we'll be sending the corner, and then the wheel would just replace the corner. Okay, but it's 2x2, so we run that shake stunt right here. All right, now, all right, we always tell these guys don't be robots, right? This is the only time we ran it. Don't be robots. So our nose is supposed to loop here, and then now he's supposed to beat the drum and then come around him. All right, tight off his butt in the opposite A gap. Okay, but our Turk sees that once again. All right, this nose just stay in that gap. So don't be a robot and you go all the way over here. Boom, fit where you need to be fitted at. So yes, we messed it up, but we end up being right because we have people in the area that we want them to be. Once again, this is just a different way to bring pressure, a different way, to change up looks, get different people rushing. All right, just so people have to guard it. And then once again, with that press alignment, they made it look like we was going deep. We end up dropping a pick right here. It sucks, but at the end of the day, that's what happened. All right, now kind of moving on to coverages, what we do coverage-wise. So things we do out of our coverages, we run an auto coverage. That's our pattern match quarters. Anytime we have a 2x2 set, we use G words, or that, and it's all colors. We use G words, and then anytime it's a 3x1, we use B words. So, for instance, we have gold, gray, green, and ghost. And then for B word, for 3x1 checks, we have brown, black, blue, bronze. So, now our guys know if it's 3x1, it's going to be, if they hear B word, boom, it's this. If they hear G word, it's this. And then this translates over in our base Missouri fronts, and then base Missouri package, and now in our Iowa package as well. We run a cover 2, Tampa 2 with the teal. We run a cover 3, our silver coverage. Once again, all coverages, all just base coverages, not any pressures, all colors. We run a lot of versions of 3 hot coverages, which is 3 deep, 3 under, 3 deep, 3 under. And then we run some freeze coverages. Our freeze is our cover 0. So move on to that. All right, so we have auto coverage right here. So this is 55 alert auto. So to the field, I got my pointer acting like y'all can see that. I'm sorry about that. But to the field, we running black. All right, so we got a mini here. So the corner is a mod defender on number 1. And then the free safety, and I said the free safety, the strong safety and the nickel are miniing 2 and 3. So they're keying 3 to 2. All right, so first ball, 3 to 2. Okay. Now, if this guy was, basically we running palms between 3 and 2. And then on the backside, we have cover 2. And then once again, the alert stunt. Remember, I was telling you guys about that before. If it was 2x2, the mic is going. So now since it's 3x1, the quick is a read blitzer off this end right here. So we got a cover 2, and we got a mini up top. Let it run for you guys. All right, yeah, I just say about the backers. All right, once again, it's outside backers out of curl flat. And since he's not going, he is opening up to number 3. We end up getting a pick right there. Once again, dropping. Even though it's a 3rd and long situation, they ran all verts. We got it all covered. Good job of, he was an all-conference player, Stephon Camplin, picking it, taking it all the way to the house. Once again, get a lot of speed on the field. They want to throw a vertical, boom, we like it. We're gonna force you to run the ball. All right, we in the 55 front right here. Get some rushes, 3rd down, create that pocket, boom. Good job getting that pick. All right, now we in 44 alert auto. Okay, now the safeties told these guys to press. So we in a press look, because a lot of teams, hey, if we all back, they want to run like, bubbles and everything like that. So to take that away, we press these guys up right now. So we in a gold. So we got palms on both sides. So we gold. So now both outside backers are dropping to the curl flat. Now the backers read blitzing. And then with this is we got both of these. So 1 and 2 are playing gold. All right, so we got 3 over 2, 3 over 2. And now our nickel is responsible for the back. If the ball is run off, we're spilling everything. He should be making a tackle. All right, if this backer was a swing out, all right, he's going to open up to where number 3 is. All right, and then now we have 3 for 3 because we got a guy dropping curl flat, and then we can gain an extra guy in the middle. All right, extra speed guy in the middle. Okay, so now this is a run. So once again, we're in our 44 front. If it's a run, ends are automatically in a B gap. Okay. So he has the end is the dive player, but he's smart enough to now know, hey, the quarterback had the ball, so he chased him. All right, we got the corner getting right here off of number 1. All right, we playing palms. 2 is out. Boom, he should be triggering right now. And then now the safety needs to get ice number 1. All right, we have our nickel relating number 3. All right, and then we have our quick feathering the cue. So he's going to be feathering. Make sure that this guy pitches the ball because we got 2 for 2. And then we gain the extra guy once that ball is not handed off. And then once again, our quick made the tackle because we had, boom, corner did a good job getting off that block. Show you from tight. Good job, not, putting this near foot up, staying square, shuffling down the line, doing exactly what we did in practice. It's a good job. All right. So now we have to the left side, we have gold, and to the right side we have gray. Gray's telling this guy, since, he has him, my man, my fit. All right. So since we have this, basically the tight end, yo, Y off. All right. So if he works across, now he would take him and he would get the back. So right now, all right, if he worked front side, he would stay with him, now be his guy. And then now the nickel would just be on the back. So right now we kind of keying this tight end. All right. He works back, or he works across that guard. Boom. Now the nickel takes him and he is my man, my fit. If he stays front side and blocks out this outside linebacker, now we are filling that C gap, my man, my fit. Okay, but if he's work back, now he's on the back, he'll be related for the back. Okay, and we got the corner man down here. So we get a run. Once again, good job. I'll show you from the tight. All right, so he works back. You see the nickel coming down, my man, my fit. We get a really good job with the D end. All right, kind of getting that B gap. Okay, and then once again, you see, all right, now the strong safety shuffling over to fill in that gap. All right, we got the nose taking one A gap. We got the Mike getting the other A gap. All right, we got B gap, C gap. Okay, and now he should be working over because he's on the running back to fit where he's needed. All right, so my man, my fit, usually he should be there. He should try to kick him out. He will fit. If he was to go outside, he will fit inside of this and spill it out to this outside backer. All right, but he's not a robot. He picks up our guy Turk, knowing he has help outside. He should be shuffling down. He's going to fill that open gap. He's going to fill that open gap. All right, so he's related off the running back, so it's really good. Boom, and we get him down. No gain. All right, 44 alert auto again. Okay, so we got gold. Okay, gold. And then once again, looks like we're in our, our 44 front. So it's a run. We're in the B gaps. Noah's doing a really good job getting off that block. And now we fly into the ball. Relentless pursuit to the ball. Relentless pursuit. You'll see our, our nickel, our kid tracking that back. We always take 2 shuffles before he goes. Okay. He didn't shuffle there because he saw the ball get handed off. But A gap, good job out of nose. Getting off that guy, boom, penetrate. All right, now with this end right here, sometimes, if he's good enough, we tell him, hey, all right, he can crash that all the way down. But we do a really good job of he's in that B. All right, he's in that A. All right, he's in that B. We have help outside. We have an extra guy with this nickel. We want to force everything out, spill everything out. All right, so you see we have 3 free guys right here because we're spilling everything out. These guys don't want to block. Look at them. He don't want to block. So let's spill out to the speed. All right, well, once again, alert auto right here. Okay, we have black to the field. We have green up top. Alignment a little off a little bit. I like them to be in a straight line. All right, but they're getting a little lazy right here. So we probably fix that in meetings. All right, do a really good job of coming down, getting a reroute, force him into the, to his safety, send over top. All right, once again, it's that alert. So we tell that quick, get the chance to read blitz off the end. boom, and we get a sack. So, like I said, guys, we don't try to put leashes on our guys. All right, 3-by-1. We tell this guy he's a read blitz. He's going off. This guy knows now it's 3-by-1. All right, because they'll make a alert call quick. So he'll tell him, hey, I got a two-way go. Boom, he bounced outside, and now he takes a path inside. Now we get that one-on-one with the back and our outside backer. He beats his block. Boom, gets into the face because he's a face player and makes a sack. All right, and we have great coverage in the back end as well. All right, he has nowhere to throw the ball. Because we can do a lot of things out of this. Boom, it's a lot of small windows. Small windows make sacks. So it's a really good job of everybody. Okay. Now for this one, once again, we have look like it's a tight end on this side. So we got black. So even if it's a tight end, so we get a three-man side, we're gonna run black. All right, to the boundary, we running green. Green is a cover 2 for us. Okay, so once again, you're really good job. All right, even though they messed up the snap, really good job. All right, everybody covered. We end up getting another sack. All right, so like I said, we got a lot of speed on the field. All right, we force everything. We, look at all this combustion, all this mess in the middle. We are not allowing teams to run up the middle on us. You have to run outside, all right, and get to the sidelines if you run. And then if you want to run on the sidelines, then you got to take a long time to get back. All right, but that middle should be closed, and then you should have to force yourself to run the outside where our speed is. All right, alert auto again. Okay, once again, we got go. Good job. All right. We got that read blitzer. He come off the edge. Boom, Nose does a really good job of beating him. All right, he has nowhere to go. They have nowhere to go. All right, read blitzing. He come off that edge. Good job by our Nose. Boom, making a sack, being a face player. Good job, man. That's a really good job. All right, I kind of skipped to our next little coverage. So, all right, now we're going to teal. So teal is our cover 2 for us. All right, so this is where it kind of, it gets a little tricky because especially if we get 11 personnel and 3-by-1, it kind of changes the rules for people. All right, so we have our corners. All right, they have the flats. Okay, safeties, deep half. Okay, our nickel is our high hole player. Okay, we have, since it's a 3-by-1 set, all right, we have him as, we call it a wall 2 player. And now since number 3 to his side, he's bumping inside the box. All right, and kind of just, he's taking away the dig or the low hole guy. Now he's taking away this vertical of number 3. So he'll be right over number 3 because, say, for instance, they try to kick out, he'll be now right there for that extra gap. And then we have a free guy out here to now get the, opposite A gap of where the nose fits, okay? So just in cover 2 in our teal, we have to bastardize the rules a little bit because especially you get a Y off, you get that extra gap that he can create on both sides. So every time we had a Y off, we'll bump this guy back. So if he work this way, now he will feel the extra gap and he will feel the opposite A gap. All right, but if he works back out front, now he's already there in that gap, and then now he will get the extra A gap. Okay, let's let it play. Okay, and then our corners are taking 2 steps, 2 kind of shuffles in because as soon as they see run, they're triggering. All right, they're triggering because we're spilling everything out to them. Pass, boom. We want to force him to make that throw all the way to the field. Once again, our high hole player is right there as well. He should do it better. He should get back faster though. Okay, now we got to try to get hands on this guy. All right, 2. Got to try to get hands on him. Good job getting hands on him up top. All right, but still, that's a long throw in our safeties. If they throw it there, we practice it every day. So they need to get to that ball. All right, we are going to be on top of 2, work to 1. They need to trust that the corner will do his job, and they better be skilled enough to get over top of that as well. Okay, do a really good job. See, he works back. Now he's off the ball. He's a wall 2, low hole, high hole. Boom, nowhere to go. A lot of tight windows, You got to be Dan Marino or Jimmy Garoppolo to fit that pass in there. Okay, all right, 44 bounce teal. Once again, we got to beat the bounce if it's pass. So it's 3-by-1. Bounce out, high hold player. All right, now we do a good job right here, get on top, but he got to keep backing up. And then once he opened up, he almost got ran by. Well, that's Miles, the HBCU team. They got some fast guys, so but really good job of dropping in coverage. All right, we got it. We got to get hands, especially when it's 3-by-1. We have to get hands to slow this guy up. All right, it's 4th down. I know he thinking, hey, they're gonna try to run at the sticks, but it's 4th down. All right, you got to get hands on this guy, okay, to slow him down. But he should still be gaining depth, gaining depth. But really good job, really good coverage, and yeah, he overthrew it. So we got out the field. That was 4th down. We got to go from the tight, beat a bounce, boom. He sees a pass, they bounce outside. All right, boom, we force him to make a bad throw. Okay, once again, bounce teal, 3-by-1. Okay, we have instead of a tight end now, he's still in the box because he doesn't have anything to do over here. We get a run. Boom, we do a really good job. And once again, you see the corner coming in. Boom, he's triggering right now because everything's going to be spilling out to him. Okay, and the safety will make him right. So if the corner, if the receiver was to block him, safety will make him right in the alley. That's a really good job, man. Really good job making plays. All right, I kind of move on from bounce teal. I got a lot of clips. Move on. All right, now, so I'm gonna get into our 3 hot stuff. The way we do things, we have a Chevy blitzes. So anytime a Chevy car is called, it's the same side blitz. So we first start off with our Chevy, so we got 6 ways to call every blitz. Okay, well, I want to say probably 8 because sometimes we got some guys that think one way is just their way every single time. So we can either run it field of boundary, all right, we can run at the back or opposite the back. We can run to the tight end or away from the tight end. And then if, like I said, guys don't know those, we can just go left and right. All right, left and right. So anytime we hear our player hear a Chevy car, they know it's, the DBs know it's 3 hot. And then the box know it's going to be the same side blitz. Anytime a Dodge car is called, that's an interior blitz for us. That means that either both backers are going or our Mike backer is going as well. And then every time they hear a Ford car, we get a double edge blitz. So any Ford type of car, we got 2 guys come off the edge, off both edges. And then any weather term is an exotic blitz for us. Okay, so we'll be in cover 0. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on these blitzes. So, that's why it's exotic for us. Okay, so this one right here is Chevy Fresno. So we are blitzing from the field. All right, so if we're blitzing from the field, that means this corner right here has a deep third. All right, so since we're blitzing from the field, now this guy is a hot 2 player. All right, his hot 2 is in the backfield. His number 2, the nearest number 2 is in the backfield. All right, now, okay, this guy, our nickel now, is now the hot 3 player. Okay, hot 3 player he's over number 3. All right, number 3 is over here to the bunch side. And now our hot 2 player, the outside backer away from the blitz, always lines up outside number 2, forcing him to the middle of the field. Now our free safety has the middle of the field. Corner has this third. Corner has this third. He's coming down to number 2. He's coming down to number 3. He's coming down to number 2. All right, he's blitzing off the edge. He's coming through this gap. He's J-stepping here, and he's coming right here. All right. Once again, we call it Chevy. This is Chevy Fresno. This is 3 hot for us. Want to get the ball out quick, and this is a key pivotal point in the game. So if they were to score here, we would lose. We end up beating Texas Southern off this play. This is like a 3rd down right here. Come off, boom, we make the sack. All right. And I want you to see a really good job by our getting it. We try to disrupt routes. All right. Look at now. So we get and then also I didn't mention this, but anytime we get a 3-man side. All right. So we got a push side and a heavy side. So to the 3-man side, we get a push call because we can get a quick exchange between 2 and 3. So now we're going to be push, push, push. So now the hot 2 player now take the new number 2, and the hot 3 player take new number 3. And then this is the heavy side. So if there was a number 2 out here, he'd be heavy on it. So he's going to be heavy, heavy, heavy on the running back. All right, so we got to push, 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 push. And then watch this reroute right here, man. It's a big, like 6'3", 250 tight end right here. All right, boom, we put him on his butt, right? Because you see him looking for that pass right there because they don't know what we in. Because a lot of times we've been vacating playing cover 2, vacating playing cover 3. But now, once again, we able to drop, our nickel and strong safety, okay? And then give it a different look. Now, this guy is now pushed to the middle of the field. All right, so boom, we drop him and we get a sack. Really good stuff right there. Really good stuff. So he doesn't know where to go because, once again, he didn't see it coming. Okay, once again, we got Chevy Fresno right here. Oh, this is Chevy Boston, I believe. Or no, Chevy Omaha. I can't see because the controls are over my chat, but we got Chevy Omaha right here. So we're blitzing to the boundary, opposite of the back. Okay. Once again, now the free safety now and the nickel's coming down. So last time we had the strong safety and the free safety. We had the strong safety and nickel. This time we have the free safety and the nickel coming down. And we're blitzing opposite the back. Okay. Good job. And then we always say, my man, my fit. So, for instance, he get anything coming across, boom, he's spilling it because it's my man, my fit. So number 2 comes across. All right, so now this is a hot 2 player. Hot 3, his number 3 is in the backfield. All right, and then we got our hot 2 outside backer. I'll go back to we got a hot 2 backer right now. So right now it's hot 2, and then hot 3, but now it goes to now he has a hot 2. His hot 3 is in the backfield. His hot 2 is outside. And we got a deep third, deep third, deep third. Snap the ball, boom, good job. And we end up getting a TFL. My man, my fit. He's nice under that, boom, because he has someone outside of him. And we get a TFL right here. It's a really good job, really good job. Once again, spilling everything out to our speed. Chevy Fresno, we coming from the field now. Once again, now we're dropping once again. Our strong safety nickel, free safety has the middle of the field. We call this basically mod. He has him man on deep. So the corner, he has 1 to his side. We pretty much tell he has man to man. And then the outside backer away from the blitz, boom. This is hot 2. His hot 2 is in the backfield. All right. We end up, missed a couple of tackles, but he only got a gain of like 2 or 3. Okay. But we should have had him down for like a gain of, a loss of like 4 or 5 right there. But we just got to get better tackling. So if you got some tackle circuit drills, let me know. Okay, but really good job of, once again, coming through. All right. And then we wrap it across. Really good job. But once again, we just got to make some tackles and tackle for loss right there. Okay, and then this is Chevy Atlanta. So we're going at the back. So we had a receiver tight end. He didn't know who to block. He missed the whole guy. All right, go to the tight. He missed the whole guy. Boom, we spilling it out to our speed. Boom, we making it right now. So you see our guy right here. Okay, he's a hot 3 player, hot 3. That's his my man, my fit. So it's not he does not have a certain gap. We will every time we have a blitz, the opposite B or opposite A gap will be free. All right, but we have a guy saying my man, my fit. So that is my man. So he is my fit. So where he fits, that is where I fit. Okay, we got Chevy Atlanta again. We blitzing to the back. All right, he doesn't even know where to throw the ball. We got a mod. So we bring people. So sometimes we bring both guys. Sometimes we bring the same side of guys. So we like to mix it up of, what we do at this package. And it looks all the same. We just, determine who's dropping based on the call. Okay. All right, so now this is a little different. So this is our Dodge, our interior blitz right here. All right, so we have a little different package now. So this kind of goes into the Illinois package a little bit. All right, we line up a little differently, show a 2-high shell and work that guy down, almost like a 4-2-5. Same personnel, but just different alignments. The package tells the guy where to line up. All right. So Iowa, we straight across. Illinois, we kind of, we almost look like a 4-2-5. Same personnel, same looks though. But this just allows us. I'll put that dodge on here so anytime we have a dodge blitz, it's in between. So we got a little twist up front with the inside backers right there. We're in the 22 front. So we in the 55. Okay, it looks like 22 because the way we do our man-to-man, we don't just go, hey, you have number 2. We find, we put our best players on on their best players. So the best cover guys gonna find the best receiver. All right. So if they got a tight end split out, our stud is gonna go get the tight end. Then our corner will go over. We don't if they wanna we do matchups like basketball. So I got him, you got him. So if it was a tight end, all right, he was up. We call it choke. So the end's gonna bump outside that tight end, and then this whoever has a tight end will choke the tight end, press him man to man, and he has him. So if it blocks, he was responsible for this gap. He has to crush that down. Okay, so we do a really good job of. We got that dodge stunt, and then once again, you see the dodge stunt. Now he's the free up right here. So we got basically a single high or one free coverage. So his man is in the backfield. Okay, my man, my fit. Really good stunt. Now right here, boom, everything worked out perfectly. My man, my fit, but we got to make the tackle, right? We made contact, missed a tackle, missed more tackles. So he ended up getting extra yardage because of the one tackle we missed. So we got to do a better job of making tackles right there. All right, so now we go into our edge blitzes, right? So this is our forward packet, our forward blitz, so forward edge. We got 2 guys coming off the edge right here. So now, in Chevy, we was dropping, these 2 guys at the same time, in Dodge, we had everybody manned up, dropping, we had the free safety go here, and then the nickel drop down, replacing this Mike. Now with our edge blitzes, now we got both safeties coming down and him and our nickel dropping back. So we changed a lot of stuff up. So it'll be, now they're both rushing off the edge. He'll be a hot 2, our hot 2 guy, hot 3, hot 2. All right, he's hot 2. So once again, his number 2 is here. His number 3 is in the backfield. His number 2 is here. So if there was a motion over, now he would take the hot 3 over here, and now his hot 2 would be in the backfield. Then since they're in pistol, we can't say push right now. So we just automatically make a push left, and then we heavy on this side. So we just we kind of let it work out if he was to swing out right here. But based on tendencies, we can help our kids out on that though as well. Let me get that out the way. So we got double edge guys that are coming off. These guys are J7 to the B. Boom, we get a sack right here. I said sack. We get a TFL. Okay, show you from the tight. Coming here, we coming here, boom, coming there. All right, this was our best blitz. All right, just that bare mic, come off the edge, get a lot of one-on-ones. They didn't block the best player on the field, and TFL right there. Same thing, Iowa edge. All right, good job. Hot 2 player making a play. Ball coming out fast. Boom, we got a lot of one-on-ones. Ball coming out fast. Hot 2 player makes the play. We want to funnel everything in to our nickel. All right, funnel everything into our nickel. Force them to throw to the outsides. And then once again, we have the ability to press these guys and bail out. But once again, if we got 8 yards across on everything, then we make it look like it's the same thing, so you don't know what you're going to get. All right, once again, we got our edge. All right, hot 2 is now we got an edge, so now his hot 2 is in the backfield. Boom, my man, my fit. So if he blocks out, he's fitting off of him. If he cuts underneath, he has him outside. All right, his hot 2 is here. He's here. his hot threes in the backfield. Okay, once again, the push side to be to the left, heavy side to be, push side to be to the right, heavy side to be to the left. Good job, boom. So once again, that tight end blocks out, so the hot two player fits inside of that outside backer. Outside backer do a really good job of, breaking out, getting off that block. With this end right here, we J stepping all the way to the opposite A, not opposite A, but the A gap. I'm sorry, and then we do a really good job of coming down and making plays. Edge again, same thing. Force everything outside. We clogging up all the insides, man. All the insides forcing those guys to bounce out. It's a 3rd-and-1 situation, and we end up getting a tackle for loss. All right, now it's 4th down. They punt the ball. We get the ball back. That's a 3rd down stop for us. All right, I'm kind of passed through the edge. Now we get into our tornado blitz. All right, so a tornado is an exotic blitz. All right, so tornado for us is, once again, it's a weather term. So we have 0 coverage in the backfield. So everything look like it's 0. Now everything, it looks the same. Cover 2 looks the same. 0 looks the same. Cover 3 looks the same. So everything looks the same out of this. And then we can do multiple things. Like I said, we just always press the corners if the team is, throwing bubbles and everything on us. But a lot of the guys don't do that. So we just play off, especially in 3rd and long situations, while pressing them if we're going to go to the sticks. So we just got to, with DB-wise, you got to be patient. The ball's going to come out quick. All right, our tornado right here. We in 0 coverage. I'll let it play. So we have a twist with our two twos, and then we to the back. All right, so to the back, we have a twist with our backers. All right, so we bump our stud inside. Okay, as a backer. Now he's going first. He's going first, and then our Mike backer will loop around him. Okay, and then both these guys, both our ends are quick, and our rush is now rushing off the edge. Great little chaos. Boom, they end up catching the pass, but we just too fast up front. We should be. Our corners are super fast out. Our safeties do a really good job of being patient. All right, just sliding away, being patient. Our corners, give up a lot of ground, and that's something we got to work on in one-on-ones. But you see it from this point of view. Good catch, good throw. All right, this is our quake right here. Once again, another, so we get motion. And then, like I said, we just bump with the motion, everybody, we do the same thing in our auto, do the same thing in cover 3, do the same thing in cover 2. All right, if we have motion, we just bump everybody, so it all looks like we ain't playing man in 0 coverage. We do a really good job of staying patient here. And then now, forcing those windows to be really tight, making them throw bad throws. Okay, now you can see the blitz right here. So quake. All right, now we got a stunt right here, like our crap stunt, chain stunt right here, and now the inside guys are wrapping outside. So we got 2 guys that should be end up in the face, and then the 2 guys that look inside are gonna be wrapping outside now. All right, force him to get that ball out. All right, and then it's another one, cyclone. Okay, once again, it's another 0 blitz. Once again, it looks just like man, but the ball has to come out, and we end up getting a pick on this. All right, so the quarterback trying to see where we in, but everything looks like it's man. Everything looks like it's cover 3. Everything looks like it's cover 2 of our auto. So this is how we create takeaways, and we get a lot of turnovers doing this, because we get a lot of sacks because quarterbacks don't know where to throw the ball because we give them the same look, but just doing different things. We really believe that keeping it simple, keeping the same look, makes the quarterback have to make decisions, because, hey, the play caller in the box might know, But at the end of the day, we feel like we take our chances with the guy with the ball instead of trying to outsmart the offense coordinator. All right, so this is our Cyclone Blitz right here. So now we got these guys knifing in, and then we have our ends looping, knife looping. He's working opposite to the opposite B. And then now this Mike is now working to the face of the quarterback. All right, seeing first opening. As you see, it clears up. Boom, and we end up getting a pick. Really good job, really good play. All right. That's all I have for you today. Like I said, if you guys want anything, please let me know. Hopefully, Nick, I didn't go over my time and anything like that. But hopefully, you guys took some stuff out of this, and you can kind of play with it as much as you want to. But it was a really good package for us, and allow us to put our best 11 players on the field, and then put more speed on the field, and get more DBs out there so you can get some takeaways.
All right, and you did a great job. This pains me to say it, but tell us a little bit about Missouri S&T and then what areas you guys recruit and you do recruit personally.
Yeah, so Missouri S&T, it's always funny. We consider ourselves the number one engineering school in the nation. I know Rose, I always laugh coming from Rose when I hear you guys saying, hey, man, it's good, but we're an engineering school. But we're not all engineering. We probably have like 25 other different majors. We have a really good business program. We just started teaching here at S&T, so we have a lot of diversity in our programs. But we're in Rolla, Missouri. Now, what we look for in recruits, you've got to have a really good grades to get in. Just right now, just to give you a baseline, we look for probably kids with like 3.0s and like either 26 and up, just so you can get academic money. But thing about us, man, we love to compete. So not only you're going to get a good, you're going to get a good degree, but also you're going to play on a good football team too. Last year we went 7-4. We lost 3 games by like less than 7. But then the year before that we went 10-2 and won a Mineral Water Bowl championship in a bowl game. So not only, like I said, you're not only getting a good degree, but you're coming to be a part of a good football program with people that are going to be the next CEOs, the next managers of these big time companies. So coming in here, networking is unreal, because not only do you come here and go to class with future CEOs, but you're gonna be on the football team with future CEOs and stuff like that. So your network and ability to get a good job right after you graduate is really good here. I think average starting salary is like I think here is like $65,000. So that's really good. I mean, I wish I had $65,000 coming out of college. So when you kind of look into schools, kind of look at all that, because not everyone is going to go to the NFL. All right. So if you're special, they'll come find you. All right. But if some school gives you opportunity to play football, then I think you should take it. But the areas I recruit, though, I recruit the state of Illinois, and I recruit Oklahoma now. I gave Texas to Shane. But we, anytime you see Missouri S&T in Texas or Oklahoma, you will see me there as well with Coach Dowdy. Even though I recruit Oklahoma, he recruits Texas. We gonna kind of, when we go road trips, it's gonna be both of us. But yeah, no, man. Send us your film. You can. Well, I should have put like my Twitter. I should have had a page with my Twitter and stuff like that. But I think my Twitter is Coach_DJB. I changed it up from Big Baller Bland. So follow me on Twitter at Coach_DJB. My email address is Bland, so BLAND, the letter D, at mst.edu. And then if you want to call me, just please reach out to Nick or send me an email, and then I'll give you my number. Then I don't want to put my number all out on social media to get all these recruits blowing me up. So but guys, we are on the hunt looking for 2021 kids. So send us your Twitter, follow our football page, and then make sure you get in contact with coaches that recruit your area. But once again, I recruit Illinois and Oklahoma. So if you're from those states, please let me know. Other than that, it was a pleasure talking to you guys. Pleasure sharing what we do at S&T, and go Miners.
Thank you, DJ.